So I want to make this video on the topic conversation on bulking. So first off, just a disclaimer, I'm not at the current stage of bulking yet. So most of the information that I'm getting is reference from some of the influencers that I watch that are into bodybuilding and that have gotten lean to the point where they're able to bulk to the stage where they've got real definition of muscle with 10 years of experience behind them. And so I'd like to talk about bulking and how to get to that stage, because I speak to some people just around me, whether it be like in my social settings or work or just out and about at the grocery shop, seeing old friends. And they usually ask, oh, wow, you look really good. How long have you been bulking for? And so it looks like I'm bulking the leaner I get, because I'm actually gaining muscle while losing body fat, and the body definition, like the muscle definition, is starting to show. So it looks like a bulk, and a lot of people use the definition of bulking to make choices of eating like crap. So when I ask people, or when they ask me, oh, what do you do? I'm like, oh, I'm in a cut right now. And then they go on to say, oh yeah, I'm in a bulk. And I'll look at them and they look like they're nowhere near ready to bulk. The thing with bulking is when you're not lean and you're trying to gain muscle, is that, yeah, you'll gain like a lot of muscle while also gaining fat, but your fat will cover the muscle, so you won't be able to see the muscle. So you will be able to lift heavier and you will be bigger technically, but you've also got more fat. And the thing with getting cut and lean on the way down is that your testosterone will rise and get higher, and that's kind of the goal. As you lose body fat, your testosterone will get higher, and that will just mean more energy, more quality of life, more focus, more direction, more you feel like you've got more purpose, more confidence walking around. So when people come up to me and they're like, oh yeah, I'm currently bulking, and they don't look like they're anywhere near like ready to bulk, I see it as them using it as an excuse to eat whatever they want while they're training, and just being in a cycle of eating like crap and training and calling it bulking. And people are just in this cycle forever, and then they're like, all right, I'm starting to get too big, so I'll cut now. So they cut back to the point of where they literally started, and where they started with that mentality, they wanted to gain like muscle and look good. So they'll cut back for like 2 or 3 weeks, get back to where they started, and then they're like, oh, I want to look big. And so they'll do it again, and the pattern just recycles. So they're just going from point A to point B, from point A to point B. So the right way to actually bulk is, there's no shortcuts around it, and it is hard work. The hard work consists of counting your calories and knowing how much calories you need in order to go into a calorie surplus of 200 or 300. So like a very light calorie surplus to gain lean muscle while staying lean. So while having low body fat, you're consuming just a little bit more calories to grow the muscles bigger. So then you have no fat that is covering your muscles, and as they get bigger, they're going to pop out more. But that takes a really long time. To add like a kilo of lean muscle, it doesn't take a week or a month. A kilo of lean muscle could take up to 6 months. And people think, oh, in a bulk, I can gain 6 kilos in like 6 weeks. But they're doing it wrong, because what they're doing is that 6 kilos is just all body fat. And your body will store all the fat because it uses it as a store of energy. So they'll see the outcomes in the gym of them lifting heavier and thinking that it's working. But just because you're lifting heavier, it doesn't mean that you're going to get all the benefits of getting lean and bulking in a calorie surplus properly. So in order to get to the bulk, speaking from what I've learned from literal experts that have been training for 10 years, you need to cut and get lean first to be able to start from a foundation of this is what my body looks like and is. And unfortunately, you're not going to start off looking like Arnold Schwarzenegger or any of the influencers that you see online. Once you strip down the body fat, your muscles will be small. It's because you haven't trained them long enough for them to be able to grow. So get into a calorie surplus and reach a target goal of the body fat percentage that you want to reach, anywhere from 10 to 15%. And then go into a calorie surplus and start bulking to gain lean muscle, and give yourself a buffer. So if you want to get to 12%, give yourself a buffer of 3%. So as you're bulking 12% to 15%, like go into a calorie surplus of 200 to 300 until you hit the 15%, and then strip back again. And this time your muscles will be bigger, and every time you do a cut, it will be less. So your first cut, like speaking from experience, I'm currently in a 4.5 month deficit and I'm going for 6 months. Your first cut will take the longest. It will take 6 months, and it's hard work and you feel hungry, but you know at the end of the tunnel is light, because once I get to 12%, I can then not only go back to my calorie maintenance, but go into a short surplus where I'm able to gain lean muscle. My goal isn't to look massive. Like, that was never my goal. My goal is to look athletic, to look lean, to look ready for movies, like movie star physique, like Brad Pitt in Fight Club. Like that's the goal. So to go into a calorie surplus for maybe 2 or 3 months and then cut back for 4 weeks. Because after you do the first initial cut of 6 months, every cut after is going to be much shorter and a lot easier to get back to. So the hardest part of bulking is the initial cutting phase, and everybody wants to skip it because it's the hardest work. And I will not listen to anybody that comes up to me and says that they're in a bulk when they haven't even got down to 12% before, or like even 15%. I'll ask them, oh, what was the cutting stage like? Yeah, I did it for like 4 weeks, but I just decided I wanted to be bigger. That's where I stopped listening, because now you've got literally no experience and no evidence and proof of you getting lean, because the goal is to, once you start bulking, to stay lean so the muscles are showing. Like, that's the whole goal of like physique training and going to the gym. Like, if you're going to go and do something, do it for purpose and go all in. If you're going to the gym just as a social thing, then that's cool, but don't tell me you're in a bulk. Tell me you're just going with the flow and you don't have any like goals with it, and you're just doing it as a mental health stimulation or whatever it is. But don't tell me you're in a bulk, because if you are in a bulk, then you're literally taking gym very seriously. You're counting your macros. You know what macros are. When I ask people they're in a bulk, I'll be like, oh, what's your macro split? And they're like, oh, I'm only tracking protein. It's like, you don't know what you're doing. Okay, you're tracking protein. Okay, what's your calorie intake? Oh, it's around 23. No, it's around 3,000. It's like, and you're eating pizza. It's like, you can't have the best of everything and expect the best results. You need to have a plan, have structure, know your numbers. And when you go to have a conversation with someone, if you say you're going to bulk, be prepared for the person that you say it to ask you questions, because in order to bulk, you have to know what you're doing. You could just say, oh, I don't really care, or watch what I eat, then that's fine. I'd respect that more. But if you're saying you're in a bulk, it means people are going to ask questions and like ask for advice. It's like, don't tell me you're in a bulk if you don't know what you're doing. So yeah, getting lean is hard, and it's supposed to be hard. It's literally what separates people with an average physique with the people that actually really are striving for a physique that is beyond average, that is of quality, it's of hard work and discipline. So yeah, there is a way to bulk and eat whatever you want, and it's by using steroids. And even then, you still need to know what you're doing, the milligrams, doses, things like that. I know people that have done it, they eat whatever they want, but if you're in this for the same reason that I am, it's for longevity and quality of life. It's not for short-term gratification. And I feel like steroids does the exact opposite of what you're trying to achieve in life when you go to the gym. For some people, steroids are a shortcut to make money or impress people or to fill a godlike hole. But I'd like to end this video with saying only God can fill that godlike hole, and your body is the temple of God, so give it the respect it deserves. Fill your body with nutrients, understand what your body needs, and then shape your body around the way and direction of your purpose. And I'm going to leave you with that. If you'd like to watch other videos on my channel about going into a deficit, understanding your calorie maintenance, how many macros you need to take in order to hit your calorie intake for the day on a deficit, carbs, protein, fats, and even I go into some micronutrients as well, such as potassium. Check out my other videos. As I said, I'm just in the beginning of my journey, but I am learning as I go along. So just like to share some of the knowledge that I have with all of you guys and build a little community.